gentlemen, enough of hearing me talk, because you did not come here to see me. You came here to see the amazing contestants from various seasons of Face Off and Skin Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Margaret from Face Off Season 6. No? Not here? I was given the wrong list. Kaylin from 7 and 11. Yay! Eric from Season 4. Where are we at? Where am I? Caleb by the mic.
I can be Chloe, it's fine.
There you go.
All right, which one am I?
Melissa from Season 10 and current.
All right, this is me. Boom.
Chloe from Season 6.
Right there, Melissa.
She knows where everybody is. I don't get to see people's names. Allison from Skin Wars Season 3. And right over here. I know you're over here, Allison, because I saw your name up the corner of my eye. And Nora from Season 9. Winner, Season 9. I believe you're on the end. And then there's one more that was added. Who was that?
Party Crasher.
The more the merrier. Come on down.
I mean, you get to sit here, Boo, because she's not here.
You lost one and gained another.
Always good. Always good. I got to thank every single one of you for taking the time being here. This is just absolutely wonderful. I'm a big fan of both shows. So it is great to see everybody here. Thank you so much for taking your time. First off, I need to ask the question that I know a lot of fans have, and that is, since Face Off, since Skin Wars, what bump have you looked at? Has things just blown up for you, or is business as usual from before Face Off and Skin Wars till now? We can start here at Skin Wars and move because I know you're right here. So we'll start, and there we go.
Okay, I actually get that question a lot, and it hasn't been like the direct, like, monetary sort of, oh, now everybody calls me and hires me. It's not like that, but ever since being on that show as I was about to go on the show, I was having this sort of existential quandary, like, do I want to do this anymore? I was just feeling disillusioned and sort of stuck in an old rut, and once I went on the show, it just like rekindled my passion. I was doing, before I was doing a lot of like face painting at the Facebook company party and things like that. Then that's just what was like killing my soul. I couldn't deal. So
working for Face Off for Facebook was killing your soul? That's weird.
and eBay and all of those like Silicon Valley, like company picnics that want to like hire just monkeys that can paint an X on the cheek and don't care, So once I was on the show, it really like rekindled, like, this is what I want to do. I want to paint bodies. I want to be an artist, because when we're on these shows, I'm sure it's the same for Face Off, where like they handle everything for you, right? They drive you everywhere. They feed you. Like, you don't have to make a plan except for your art. You don't have to like wrangle kids. You don't have to get into an appointment. Like, you just make art. And I said, well, I've got to structure my life to do that. And so that's what's changed for me. So I kind of went through a period of not having any gigs because I decided I wasn't going to face paint anymore, and I was just going to shift to body painting. So it was like kind of a brutal transition, but now I'm there, and it sort of changed my life. I've got like a renewed love and passion for what I do.
Wonderful. But if you can pass the mic on down.
Oh, there's one mic.
Yeah, no, there's
okay.
there's several in the
Okay.
It's what happens with large cameras.
I talk a lot, so.
They gave you yours, Eric.
Yeah.
Your own.
Awesome.
I think for me, it was more about kind of the friendships and relationships that we made on the show. I mean, a lot of what you don't see is that, we're in a house for 10 weeks with these people, and we don't have a phone, and we can't talk to our family. So your family becomes the people that you're with, and those are kind of like, in a way, lifelong, I feel like, relationships, and we hire each other and all of that. On top of, getting sponsored, and those are really valuable relationships as well that you kind of take with you to work, and whether you're working production or you're doing conventions or it's just a really valuable thing to have. So I think that's what I got out of it. And
You can keep it. We got two over here.
Awesome.
Hello? Is this working? No. Okay, I'll just shout. It's for me, like, as far as what I've been doing after the show, like, for me, the show, I'm going to say I had kind of the opposite experience as Allison. Like, I realized that makeup maybe really wasn't for me. I love makeup. I think it's really cool. I admire it tremendously. I still like to do it for fun. But I do not want to be an on-set makeup artist. So I found out that my passion is really more in the shop work and doing sculpting and stuff like that. So that's what I do. So in a way, it helped me clarify my career. And so that was really good.
for sure.
Yeah.
Great, it's my turn. All right. Yeah, I guess the question was something, you know, kind of like how has Face Off kind of boosted your career, whether it was
changed
like,
it, yeah.
or changed it.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of weird because it's like a lot of these cats are, you know, pretty young and stuff like that. I had been doing special effects over 20 years before I went on Face Off. You know, so to me, really the main thing that changed was the fact that people knew who I was after that, which is cool, you know, when production companies and people like that recognize, you know, the hard work that goes into it and the dedication and, you know, want to hire you and stuff like that. But on the flip side, it's kind of weird when you're at Walmart getting toilet paper and people are running up and wanting to, you know, take pictures and stuff like that, or showing up at your house, or
Yeah, hide the hemorrhoid cream.
yeah, it's like you gotta be a little extra, you know, extra, you know, careful and stuff. But you know, it's.
You're careful.
Show up to your house, Jesus.
No, we've had people show up at our house.
That's
and
crazy.
Just walk into our fucking business
There's
and
a
want
reason
pictures.
I don't use my last
and-
name in public.
Or Tony Archan, that's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, well, that's the thing, man. Like, you know, that's the thing. Is like, I've been asked to go on other seasons of Face Off and stuff, but I chose to kind of do my own thing, you know, because the problem with a lot of these shows is they are kind of overproduced a lot. And, you know, I enjoyed my time on Face Off. You know, I thought I did okay and stuff on it. I didn't want to go back and have to... You know what I mean? And I just enjoyed my run as I had it. And Face Off was a gig for me. I mean, I've done, like I said, 20 years in the business before Face Off, you know? So to me, Face Off was kind of like just a gig, you know? It was a TV show I was on. I've done so much more since Face Off. And yeah, I mean, the exposure, though, is been really good, you know, from Face Off for sure. It's definitely boosted things a lot and just kind of got my name out there.
We have a lot of rules in Face Off because of this guy.
Do they call them the Eric rules?
Well, I know that, like, the gelatin monster, was that what you used?
Yeah. I was kind of known on that show. See, okay, I'm going to be honest, okay, because that's the thing is I don't plan on working with Face Off anymore, so I'll be frank with you guys, dude, on some shit. Okay, so I kind of got the runaround. I was supposed to be on season 2.
But you do want to stay in the business, right?
Oh, I'm in the business, but that's the thing. Oh, it's all good. No, like I said, Face Off was a great positive thing, you know, but I kind of got the runaround. I was supposed to be on season 2 and then just this and that. So, you know, 2 years not really doing too much because they would say clear your schedule and all that.
Yeah.
So I got the runaround for like 2 years of clearing my schedule. So by the time season 4 came around, I wasn't even too sure if I was going to go on season 4. And finally, I'm like, okay, you know, and if you guys notice, like my characters on the show, I mean, we had Dick Gritty and Jack the Giant Offer and, you know, Amphibians and Spider
those
Ho.
names, though.
I used a lot of them. But yeah, so I mean, I was known for doing like wild, obscure things, and one of the things like I think with the candy blob, like she was saying, is episode 3 we made these crazy demons or whatever, and me and Wayne got yelled at for using too much materials, you know? And I'm like, well, dude, it says, oh, this great big warehouse with all the materials in the world and stuff, you know? So I'm like, so we all got like a lecture on our season about how much materials we use, because it was like the 3rd episode and we'd already used the same amount of materials as the previous episode's whole season. So by the time the candy blob guy came around, I literally was mixing up buckets of whatever supplies they had and just pouring it in a big blob on the floor. And they never did tell me to cut down on materials again. You know? But I guess they told these guys. Yeah, exactly.
Do we let him do this? Or do we let him not?
Yeah, exactly.
What
Yeah.
about the rest of the line as far as feeling? Did Face Off give you a bump? Did things change your career? Did business as usual, or did
I
it
didn't.
hurt
I
you?
didn't have a career. Like I don't know. I feel like an old lady. Everybody's like, "Why isn't your hair red?" I'm like, "Cause I'm a grown up." I work in my industry, and when you have, you know, Chloe, you're a different exception. People love me. Because I'm so fluffy, I think it adds to like the ridiculous. Like I look like a clown, you know. So I feel like people take me more seriously now. You know, I feel like when I first auditioned for Face Off, I was 19 years old. At that time, I was the youngest person to ever done the show. I had my 21st birthday on Face Off, you know, and you know, it was really special because like I feel like before I was on the show, like people, like I told my parents like I want to make monsters when I grow up, and they're like, bah, you know, like what does that mean? And I felt like when I finally went to, you know, I went to school and you know, they still don't believe me. I was like, I'm gonna move out, like I'm gonna move to California, like I'm gonna make it, you know, and like I fucking did. So it was like the best thing to be able to be like, yeah, mom and dad, like this is my job, and like they could see it, and like their friends could be proud. Like that was really cool, and it was very encouraging. I think that was like the start of like a wonderful career, because I truly have had like a lot of amazing experiences. And
That's because you're awesome.
you are. That's the thing, is I've had really wonderful people. Like that's the best thing I think of Face Off is like we have fans who give a shit, and like so many wonderful people who are like, wow, you inspired me, and that inspires me to be like, all right, I'll keep doing this, because like I did this from so young, like I was a little kid basically when I started doing it, and now I'm
I
like,
saw
oh.
baby Alana at 18 years old at Savini makeup school.
I was like, oh, you know, now I'm like, I kind of want to go back to school, you know, I feel like thirsty for education, but I feel like, you know, I'm going to go to Chloe's class later because I want to learn stuff. Like, you could always learn new things, and I think that's what's cool about our industry, and like...
You're always learning. I learn new
Every
shit
day.
every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, no, you see things, every day you see something different, and I think
that's a good rule for everybody in whatever field they're in. Just learn something new every day.
Doing it.
Yeah.
I still take body paint classes.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to. And, you know, in learning, you know, in teaching, you learn. Like, I've had the privilege of teaching people across the world. You know, when you're on an internationally televised series, like, word gets out. And that's what's really...
Yeah, you get all these really cool like
Yeah.
notes and fan mail from across the world
Yeah.
talking about how inspirational you
Yeah.
are, and it's quite amazing. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is like, yeah, I went to Beijing last year, and I taught students who didn't even speak like a lick of English, and they were murdering at the end of the class. And I thought,
Not
wow,
actually.
that's like, no, it was like a murder scene. Everything
I
was
don't
super
know what her
realistic.
class is like. Maybe they were.
They got different rules there, I think. Different standards.
Repressed over there, so you know.
But that just goes to show it's like actions speak louder than words, and I think that's what Face Off is. Like we, you know, perform something and people are really inspired by it, and I think like that carries with all of us, like in our career, and like it's really special. So I have to say Face Off started my career and has continued it into being like an absolute blessing for real. So
Yay.
Mic drop.
For me, it was a lot of like I got to establish who I was as an artist on the show. I feel like before I was doing Face Off, again, like I'm, you know, Alana and I went to school together, so we were very much still learning and figuring out our own kind of, you know, abilities as an artist. And for me, Face Off was the first time that I realized like what kind of artist I was, what I wanted to give to the world. Something that they didn't show on our first season is they had every one of us, and we had the double elimination, like 2-part, like you had to, we were just thrown right out of the gate into this huge challenge, and so they all had us all up on stage, and they asked us why we wanted to be there, and for me, it felt like a bigger question than like just why did I want to be on Face Off. It felt like, why do you want to be this artist? Why do you want to do what you want to do? And so for me, it kind of instilled why I love what I do, why I want to create characters. But it also, before I did the show, people saw me, I'd go on to set and they're like, the beauty makeup trailer's over there. And I'd be holding, gallons of blood. I'm like, no, I'm here to make monsters. So for me, it kind of, I walked away from the show being able to, people knew what I was capable of. People knew what I could do. And it wasn't just, I felt like I was less underestimated after doing the show. People were like, I had no idea you could do all of that. And it's like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. This is what I've been trying to build. And so for me, Face Off was just, I always I went on to it for a portfolio. I went on to it, to push myself, and, I did, and I'm, still proud of the characters I got to make. And it's just, from there, I've gotten to, kind of have similar, like, really cool experiences from it. It in my own way, too, would help me build my career. And, it's become now, like, it was always a stepping stone, and now it's just like, how can I top that? How can I build off of what I've done then? Because I don't want to be just a Face Off forever. I want to make sure that, I'm building off of that career. So, yeah, it was, a really cool opportunity, and, I thank my blessings every day I got to do it.
I think I had a pretty similar experience as Alana. It's like, for me, I just came out of makeup school. I was a little bit older than you. I wish I had started when I was 18. I did in a way, but I wasn't in school yet. I was about 24 when I went on Face Off. But yeah, I didn't have a career. I went right from school to the show. So for me, it was just like let's just go in head first and see what happens. And it turned out really well, and I learned a lot. And I did way more makeups on the show than I had ever done in my life. The majority of the makeups that I did before that, I had done 3 prosthetic applications before I went on the show at school. I really hadn't done shit. So it went best case scenario for me. It was amazing, and it gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have had. It gave me exposure that it would have taken me. Yeah, maybe I probably never would have gotten even close to the exposure I have now if it hadn't been for the show. So for me, it was the starting point of my career, and I'm really thankful for it. And it was a blast. And I get to meet all these really amazing other artists from other seasons, and it really is like a family. There's so many of us at this point, so you always feel like whenever you run into people, there's already this weird kindred, something about me that nobody else knows because you went through this too. Yeah, we all have the same trauma. So
and there's a lot of gossiping.
Yeah, it's really weird and cool to be a part of that. To be part of that network of people that all went through this crazy thing called Face Off. So yeah, I'm really fucking thankful for it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, with Face Off and Skin Wars, they're both filmed very similar, and you're talking about how the family. Did any of you see your seasons? Did you watch once they aired?
Yeah.
Just checking. In the editing process of that, which is another beast, did you feel that things were very truthful that came across or were there things that you're going, wait, I'm not an asshole? Why did that make me seem like?
Are we starting with me?
I may not be starting with you, Allison. But it is anybody who has an answer to that. It is very much that the editing process can make you look good and can make you look bad, depending on who's the one editing. Do you feel that you were treated fairly throughout that?
I have an answer to that. No. I felt boring on my season. Because I'm a musical theater kid, so 9 times out of 10 I'm singing something human jukebox status, and what they don't tell you is that that's copyright infringement. Yep. If you want to sing your favorite song, or you want to sculpt and make a song about, ghetto-rigged monsters, they're going to tell you to stop singing. So half of the day, I managed to get one little blurb on All Stars, and because I, started doing parodies, and you can fall into parody law there. I would get, Kaylin, you need to stop singing. like every other minute. And so like I feel like a lot of that in my personality, it's like, oh, if you take that away, like you've got, hi, I'm Kaylin, how's it going? But also you don't realize that when you're doing those interviews, like unless you're like, hi, I'm really animated, you sound like you're talking like a brick wall, you know. So like I felt a little boring in that respect.
You know, and as far as editing goes, you got to realize you're in the lab for like, 12, 13 hours sometimes, and they're filming you all day long. There's a camera on you.
Yeah.
So in that 10 hours or so, you're going through a whole range of emotions, right, that they have on file from filming you that day. So whatever little 10, 15-second clip that they show, it's really easy to kind of pick and select, you know what I mean? Because you could be laughing all day and then freaking stub your toe or whatever and like, oh shit, son of a bitch or whatever, you know what I mean? And then that's going to be the clip that they're going to use, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of power in editing, and that's why I always, would tell my friends and stuff like, look, don't give them the footage. They can't edit you to be an asshole if you don't have footage of you being an asshole. It's pretty easy,
I think in adding to that too, every time you're like, oh shit, or whatever, because you're mic'd, they're there with the cameras. As soon as they think that anything is wrong. So I think we started saying like copyrighted words like Taco Bell and McDonald's, like every time. So they couldn't use any of it, like when we were freaking out and like, we would tap our mics so they couldn't hear what we were saying, and they would yell at us.
Another thing you would do too is like have a really, really serious conversation, but in your, your mask. So, because that's all like normal.
It kind of like became us against them, I feel like, towards the end.
That is a clever
You
way
definitely
to
did
take
come
control.
up with words. Like the sun has set, and someone was upset.
Now, Allison, I know you've got things to say on the editing.
Yeah, is this on?
That should
Is
be
it
on.
working? Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
it is
all right.
on.
Probably have to get really close.
It's just not as loud as that other one.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, so editing was pretty creative on my season. And I've got no complaints really. I mean, I did get, so in reality, I don't know if you guys saw season 3 at all, but in the real situation, I was the mom. Like I was by far, like I was old enough to be everyone's mom on that season. I had like a 20-year-old, and here I was like almost 45.
Yeah.
And there's a 20-year-old on the show, and like a 22 and a 24, and I was like, oh my god, I'm everyone's mom. I was like washing everyone's towels in the house. I'd make like little parfait cups, and we had solo cups. So I'd do like yogurt and granola and fruit little parfait cups for everyone. Like before we got on the shuttle van,
Wow.
I'm like, no, you can't go on set without your breakfast. Like here, everybody. And then you watch the show, and it's like, oh, I'm this cutthroat biatch. I was like wiping everybody's nose. Come on. But so I was sort of the villain, I guess, on that season. And Michael was jealous because he tried so hard to be the villain. He talked so much shit about everybody, and they didn't show in all his interviews. He would come back, and he would come back from his interview and go like, I talk shit about you and you and you, and they didn't show any of it. He was just like the flamboyant, naked, cute guy. And so I turned out to be the villain, and I was like, what happened there? And at first I was really, upset, like in the moment when it was airing, and my mom was like dying in the hospital at the time that it was airing. Like she only got to see like up to the 3rd or 4th episode. And so I was like totally traumatized and getting like hate mail in the hospital on my phone. Like while I'm sitting, I'm like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, the fans are crazy sometimes, dude.
Just fucking kill yourself,
Yeah,
and your son.
dude.
Like these.
I think the other day I just gotta eat shit and die.
Yeah.
I get that at my grocery store. It's
But I will.
Entire social media
I'll
campaign on my address,
say,
so.
everyone remembers me.
It's great, isn't
I'm
it?
one of the, like the 3 top people that people remember from my season. So it was kind of a blessing, like I'm memorable because
Way to be
because
positive.
I was the villain. I got a lot of airtime. Yeah. Like some of the more animated, fun, kooky people, like Tiffany, on my season.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. They showed like this
Just
much
a
of her.
smidge.
Yeah, like you never see her, and I felt bad because she was so fun and great. And she was always singing. She has a gorgeous voice, and she was always like doing a funny little dance.
Yeah,
and stuff.
copyright infringement.
Yeah, right.
No.
And yeah, so I got all the airtime, so it was kind of a blessing. But,
Double-edged sword on that
yeah,
one,
double-edged
yeah.
sword. Like I'm happy to be the villain. I embrace it. You know, like some fan like on sort of like a ranking website where they're ranking people from competition shows.
Yeah.
He ranked me #1 and said I was like a boss bitch. And I'm like,
Hell yeah.
Oh, head bitch in charge. That
Head
was it.
bitch in charge.
I'm like, I'll take that.
I would like that on a business card. I'd take that. Now, Eric brings up a point about fans. So, since being thrown in the spotlight and having this wonderful family and getting to go to all these cons and everything, what are some positive and negative reactions you've gotten from fans, other than the eat shit and die? Have you had like?
You know, that's the thing is huge percent, like 99% of the incidents are very positive. You know, very very rarely really do I get too much negative stuff, and you know it's you know, so I mean it's cool, but there's always those ones out there, and you know, with me doing my live feed, sometimes there's always like internet trolls and stuff, and you know,
I have 2 accounts.
Too much time on my hands.
you know, so it's you know, I try to deal with stuff with wit and humor. You know, it's kind of fun troll slaying sometimes, you know, especially if you're witty about it. You know, you can't be like, oh, F off, if you like, that's no fun. You know, it's you know, so in a way it's fun, but yeah, I mean, everything's really positive for the most part.
What are some of your most memorable for any of your most memorable?
I just want to talk about that a little bit, just because, like, overwhelmingly, people are very positive and wonderful. And all the negative responses I've gotten have been online. It's never in person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Though,
They would not have the guts to
one
say
person I did run into who was a keyboard warrior, and I recognized him, and I went up to him, and I'm like, dude, you're really mean. I'm like, I'm a nice person. And I ended up talking to him for a long time.
Am I right?
Huh?
Wait, is it Doug Stewart?
No, it's not Doug Stewart. And
Definitely do.
you know, it turns out he's just an asshole. Like, you know.
Some people are.
You know, and that's just it. It's not a reflection on me. It's just, you know, and I think that's something to take away from it, is that people, you know, they're tough guys behind the keyboard, but he was a big baby when I met him in real life, so.
There's like a lot of people that are like serial trolls for the show. Like you heard several people just mention this guy, Doug Stewart.
But you work with
I
Doug.
had the pleasure of working with Doug on a regular. And Doug actually, when my season first came out, like he made like a Facebook post, and the show hadn't even aired, just our publicity photo had come out for season 9, and he circled my head and wrote like, here's your winner of season 9, before the show even aired, and put it on Facebook. And I saw it and I was like, holy fucking shit. I'm like, and I called like the casting director for the show, and I'm like, dude, I didn't say shit to anybody. I swear to God, like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why he's doing this, because I wasn't familiar.
And then he was like, oh, it's Doug
yeah,
Stewart.
he was like, oh, it's Doug Stewart. Don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. And within like in 10 minutes, it was like down. But the funny thing is, like, I never like brought it up to Doug, but like he knows that I know that was him. But like now he's like totally cool with me, so it's like they do it just for show, just to be a dick. Like he doesn't hate any of us. But he is. It's just online though. And he is. Oh no, trust me. I've argued with him about everything.
I feel like he's mellowed out a little bit lately.
Yeah, chill now. It's just weird. People have a really weird adverse reaction to the show that are in the industry, and it's just a weird double-edged sword to be on the show and be in the industry, because industry people feel so split about it.
I think also though, and I think we can all say this, is the kids that come up to us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
it's
so
great,
inspired.
yeah.
And now they're going to school and they're asking, you know, and parents are going, thank you, because, you know, now my kid has a passion for something, and they're pushing forward. You know, I met so I think she was probably 12 when our show first came out, and she just enrolled in makeup school, and like it's really cool to see what this show has done, and even in it being in its last season now, seeing all the people that want it to stay and the petitions to bring it back, and I think it was a really special thing to be part of, and I think, you know, the fans have been amazing, and the true fans are true fans, and they're still with us and follow us. So I mean, I don't know if any of you are here now that follow us online and have been those fans, but it does mean a lot to us, and we're
We
very
thank you.
It really does. Anytime you put a lot of work into your craft, it feels great to get the recognition.
Absolutely.
You know, because face it, there's not a lot of money in this business. So the recognition and the just acknowledgement of seeing that people work hard for what they do means a lot. For sure.
Yeah, I have a really, so I don't know if you're aware of the social media. I was literally bullied about my eyebrows, relentlessly about my eyebrows, because, I had blue hair at the time, and, this is.
Take it off!
This is a leave, because I got real tired of being, targeted about my hair and my eyebrows, so.
I get the hair
But
thing.
with that, during my season, I've had people say, she's an Oompa Loompa, which, by the way, they're work-oriented, they're team players, they've got great hair and great songs, so that's a compliment. Thank you.
Great singer.
And they can dance, so thank you very much. But I wanted to turn it into a positive, because there were so many young fans that would see that, and it's they needed to know that it was okay to be expressive, be different. And so myself and all of my castmates, they started putting blue eyebrows on themselves. They all started, they joined Rally, and we did the Blue Brow Challenge, and I got over 400 people submitting pictures of themselves wearing blue eyebrows, saying, I support you and I support what you're doing. And my favorite experience, and I'll never forget this to the day that I die, I had a young girl, she was about 13, and her 6 or 7 year old sister, she had Down syndrome, and they both did the challenge, and that's the little girl I was talking to, that I wanted them to know that they're beautiful and special, and no matter how people make you feel that you're different, you can, do whatever you want. And so, in that respect, I got so much love and so much positivity from doing the show in that respect. And so, it's, I'll get emotional about thinking about it, because, as relentless and as unruly as people were online, there was just as much light and positivity from the fans. And so, I got so many young fans that, that would come up to me after the fact saying, I deal with my, mental health, and you made me feel better about myself. And more than a few people coming to me through social media about that kind of thing. And, I'd always direct them to, some professional sites and stuff to talk about their problems, but to have that kind of platform to, speak on bigger topics than just makeup was, I never would have expected that kind of outcome, so.
Yeah. I'll just throw in there, on that note, I feel like I've sort of, now, it's sort of not the show itself, but sort of the blowback, the aftermath of trolls and fans combined, I got a lot of really mean bullying, body shaming comments online about being too fat and too old to dress how I dress. You're not pinup. I'm I'm not trying to be pinup. I just want to be Joan from Mad Men, really. But so now I kind of feel like now a champion for that. You can be a 50-year-old woman and be hot as shit. I get so many 20-year-old little dudes now that are oh my God, Woman Crash Wednesday, blah blah blah. I'm thank you.
It pays to be the head boss bitch.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think with me too, one of the things is with Face Off, because I was told, don't read what they say online, don't read what they say online. But with me, if I found something real witty that a troll put out, I would post it on my Facebook. Yeah. I kind of would start kind of embracing it a little bit, and I noticed that people backed off really quick. But yeah, people would take the dude from Fifth Element and then put my picture next to it. We got that all the time. And I'm Native American, and for some reason under the interview lights I looked really red, so I dealt with all the he's redder than the devil's dick comments. So yeah, which was great, and I would always post them on my Facebook. I'm look at what so-and-so says. It's great,
Gary Oldman is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm cool with that.
I've had people put photos of me from Fifth Element next to it, but it's all those big horned guys. But so as far as the fan interaction has been mainly positive.
Yeah, it's been great.
Experience in the show mainly
We love
positive.
you guys.
I'm glad to hear so much of the positivity has come from that. So how has that enveloped in your art? Have you taken all the positive vibes and moved forward with that? Have you Has that helped inspire new creations from what you've seen and what you've interactions?
I know I personally learned a lot from a lot of these guys. I'm a self-taught special effects artist, and plus a hermit. So I really, like my buddy Roy, we went to high school together. Yeah, so he knows I was a nerd kid, man. Like we were hanging out, like watching monster movies and that kind of crap. So it's yeah, so yeah, I mean, I've learned so much from just being around these other artists and stuff like that. I got a pretty decent little effect shop down in Southern California, and I know that I've, like had a bunch of the cats come over to the shop and work on projects, and I've made some great friends through this whole process. And anybody that's going to go on the show and do any type of makeup within those time frames and under that stress, and
they can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the people that get voted off the first day, just the fact that they're there willing to put their balls on the table and do it, you know what I mean? It means a lot, right?
I know I put my balls on the table.
We're talking hypothetical balls here, people. I think the audience knows the balls are hypothetical in the situation.
I still like
We don't need to illustrate this, But back to the, just to do any type of makeup in those type of parameters is amazing. And I got into this because I love art. I love special effects. I love just being able to take somebody and turn them into a completely different character and just everything that goes along with it, So, like, I geek out at events like this and hanging out with other artists and stuff like that because I'm a fan of the art. And to me, like, there's a lot of cats that go on these shows and get these crazy egos and stuff like that. And I literally, like, make rubber monsters and, like, alien dicks for music videos and shit. You know what I mean? There's no reason to get an ego over what we do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's entertainment. We're just trying to inspire people and make cool stuff and, have a good time.
And work.
And work.
It is our job.
Well, it's a lot of work. To do this type of stuff, you got to work twice as hard as somebody with a 9 to 5. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is you just got to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And that's what separates the people, from success or not. I mean, success is just getting up and still doing it every day.
And it really does change in a day. I mean, today we could be like, okay, we don't have work, and then tonight, we could be going to
you get that magic phone call
for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. So your life is very fluid and.
It's like rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like it really, really is. Like the traveling,
unglamorous side of the rock star lifestyle.
Oh yeah, rock star lifestyles are not rock star lifestyles, dude. It's a lot of traveling and a lot of bullcrap.
I just want to throw out there. Have you ever seen the Simpsons episode with the yo-yo stars?
Yeah.
That right where they're so glamorous and then they get in the back of this crappy little van. Like I feel like that's our life.
Yeah, totally.
That resonated so hard with me. I'm like that's my life.
I do have
It's all an illusion.
We're running low on time here, but I do have one quick question for all the face-off about Skin Wars actually. Because of the fact that in almost every season of Face Off there's been a body painting challenge. It seems to be edited as such, as that seems to be the most difficult for a lot of the makeup artists to handle.
I suck
Is
at
that
body painting.
true? Or is that just the way that show edited it, that it seemed like if you had to do a body painting challenge, I know some of you didn't need to.
I literally Googled Skin War application last week. I'm like, put me in, coach. The 2 seasons I was on were the 2 seasons that they didn't have body paint challenges. And I love to paint. So I'm like, I hope they do a skin off.
Skin off.
I keep bugging the producer of Skin Wars to try and do a collaboration.
Crossover.
Yeah,
Bring back
great.
Face Off season 14, Skin Wars All Stars versus
Skin
Face Off
Face.
All Stars.
Skin face.
Skin Face. Skin Off.
It's just gonna be a murder show.
I love it.
I think the difference though with types of art styles, because typically as creating a monster, we're trying to go for realism. We're trying to make purple skin look like it's real skin. Whereas a lot of times with body painting, it's very it's you're basically doing graffiti on a person's body. You're doing it's super abstract, or it's trying to replicate 3D dimensional stuff. And for a lot of artists to go from a flat painting to a person, there's a bit of a disconnect there. So like it's such a different type of art form, which it's both art forms are both like so beautiful, but there's very different kind of, you're achieving different things for that kind of stuff. So that's all I have to say about that.
I think it varies. I think it varies on the artist too, though, because my best friend Nick Herrera, who was actually voted off Face Off,
Like
the episode before the body challenge, and he's, in my opinion, he's one of the best.
Yeah, Nick.
But yeah, he's one of the best.
In the body paint world, he's like a god.
Yeah, and so like, since he's been in my life, we've done a lot of body paints together, and in turn, I've kind of taught him more about my side of things and silicone and stuff like that. So I think it's a really, to think of it as one or the other, it's, last weekend I was in Mexico and did a body paint with a prosthetic. I think it can be both.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of us that do it, not necessarily specialize it, but bring it into part of our work. I don't know if it's the same for you, where you bring in prosthetics, but.
Yeah, not so much. I would love to learn to like construct my own prosthetics, but I've been experimenting. I was just showing Eric, fabrication with using craft foam. Right, like becoming the craft foam queen. So like I'll like layer pieces of craft foam to make sort of like a block, and then I can cut them down and I Dremel them, and I make things that way because I don't know how to cast them. But but I've been doing more and more elaborate. Like my clients are starting to want like, well, can you turn it into this? Can you turn it into that? And then it's like it's just growing and growing.
Just bigger and bigger.
Yeah, my garage has got everywhere now. I'm building stuff.
I'm gonna use that as an opportunity real quick to say, come sit in our workshops. I'm teaching a prosthetics class. Chloe's got a blood panel, so come. And also, you guys, like, I'm just gonna use this opportunity to plug real quick.
Yes.
No, please do. In fact, I was going to say, I want to thank, first of all, a round of applause for all these amazing And you can help keep applauding by going by each of their tables, buying their merch, going to their workshops, keeping them coming back to cons like
Coming
this
by
so you
and
can
saying
ask
hi.
questions. And follow them all on social media. But if any of you are a troll, I'll track you down with Pennywise, and we're coming after you. Right?
I'm gonna do the.
We're not going to be able to. We're rounding up. So I thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Please make sure you go and talk to them at their tables. Any questions you have, see them and talk to them in person.
We're all very nice people.
Come by the workshop in the corner. We're signing up both workshops at my table. You'll see me, I'm blue. But come by, we're doing last minute signups. For my class, it's $25 for the class. You enter yourself into a raffle for a prosthetic prize package. And it's basically a demo class where you guys get to learn an in-depth application of prosthetic transfers and a silicone piece. And then, Chloe, tell me about your class.
Mine is about building blood rigs for whether it's haunted house or film and television. We're doing a very pretty state-of-the-art new way with opsite bladders, and also laying a silicone appliance over it and painting it. So you'll leave with your own opsite bladder and you make it in the class. So you got your own little blood rig to take home.
Definitely check those
Come
out.
by and sign up.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thanks for
so
coming
much.
out, guys.
Big Lord.
Thank you.
That was fun. Yeah, was that good?
Because of how
We good
long-
to it?